he's doing things like this, he needs to be in jail.
Combs is back at MDC. He's been denied bail twice. His last hope of getting out before that May 2025.
Nobody's okay with staying in jail for now.
The judge ordered that the defendant, Sean Combs, stay inside the MDNC, which we know the Metropolitan Detention Center.
He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent.
Sean Combs is basically asking the appeals court to overrule two lower court judges and say they made a big mistake.
Legal documents, Diddy is accused of leading a criminal enterprise that misconducted women to satisfy his desires. Some of these acts took place during events Diddy reportedly called freak-offs, which involved multiple participants who were allegedly pressured or forced into these misconduct performances. The misconduct charges describe how Diddy allegedly used his power and wealth to maintain control over his victims and others involved. The indictment claims that he had a group of people who helped him recruit and manipulate women, ensuring their silence through warnings and intimidation. This network allegedly facilitated the transportation of women across state lines to participate in misconduct, adding more serious legal charges already facing him. The claims suggest that Diddy's actions were part of an organized system aimed at exploiting these women for his benefit. In the court hearings leading up to the trial, Diddy's lawyers have been actively trying to undermine the prosecution's case. They have filed numerous legal motions, including requests for bail, all of which have been denied due to concerns that Diddy could tamper with witnesses or flee the country. Diddy's legal team has also accused the government of leaking sensitive details about the case to the media, arguing that these leaks have made it impossible for Diddy to receive a fair trial. One piece of key evidence is a surveillance video from a Los Angeles hotel in 2016, which allegedly shows Diddy in a physical altercation with a woman. This video, which surfaced in May 2024, has become a critical part of the case, and Diddy's defense argues that its leak was intended to damage his reputation before the trial. As the trial date nears, the legal battle is expected to become even more intense. Prosecutors are preparing to present a detailed case that includes testimonies from alleged victims and witnesses, as well as a significant amount of documentary evidence. On the other hand, Diddy's defense team is gearing up to challenge the credibility of these witnesses and question the reliability of the evidence presented. Throughout the entire ordeal, Diddy has consistently maintained his innocence and could face a long prison sentence if convicted on all charges. With Diddy's trial date now set and the legal proceedings gaining momentum, what kind of punishment could he face if found guilty on all counts? Could this be the moment that marks the end of his career and freedom? Let's dive into the potential sentence and its consequences next. Sean Diddy Combs, if he is found guilty on all counts, Diddy could spend the rest of his life in prison. The charges carry a minimum sentence of 15 years, and the possibility of life imprisonment reflects the gravity of the alleged crimes. Federal law, especially in cases involving exploitation and misconduct, imposes harsh penalties, and this is the situation Diddy now finds himself in. The accusations against Diddy are very serious and cover multiple crimes, each adding more pressure to his legal battle. These claims are not taken lightly by the prosecution, who believe that Diddy orchestrated these activities with the help of his associates. The misconduct charges make the situation even worse, as they imply that Diddy was part of a criminal organization designed to carry out and hide these illegal actions. When combined, these charges portray a complex and well-organized operation, increasing the likelihood that Diddy could face a long sentence if convicted. Legal experts have looked closely at this case, and many believe the charges could result in a conviction. Federal prosecutors tend to have a strong track record in securing guilty verdicts in cases like this. The prosecution is expected to present strong. Recently, Diddy's emotional reaction to receiving a life sentence has been caught on camera, leaving fans and followers stunned. The footage reveals his raw emotions and reflects on the complexities of his journey. How does one process such a life-altering moment? What does this mean for his legacy and impact on the music industry? Join us as we delve deeper into the consequences of Diddy's sentencing and its ripple effects across the world of entertainment. In recent news, the legal case against Sean Diddy Combs has taken a significant turn. On October 10th, 2024, a federal judge in New York set May 5th, 2025 as the date for his trial. This marks a key moment in what has become a widely discussed case involving the music mogul. Diddy, who has been in custody since his arrest, is facing serious charges that include trafficking, misconduct, and transporting. The decision to set the trial date follows a series of pre-trial hearings in which Diddy appeared in court to respond to these grave accusations. accusations. The allegations against Diddy are both extensive and troubling. The indictment, which was made public in September 2024, details a disturbing pattern of behavior over the years. According to these long evidence, including testimonies from the alleged victims, surveillance footage, and electronic records, all of which could be difficult for Diddy to counter. The strength of the evidence suggests that a conviction is a real possibility. Given the seriousness of the allegations, the legal system requires a minimum of 15 years in prison for crimes like trafficking. Though it is possible Diddy could face much more time behind bars, legal analysts have explained that while life sentences are usually given for the most extreme crimes, the nature of these allegations, especially the claims of manipulation and misconduct, make such a punishment seem justified. Prosecutors are likely to focus on showing how Diddy's actions were not just isolated incidents, but part of a systematic and abusive scheme. If they can prove this in court, it is likely that Diddy will be sentenced to life in prison, reflecting the full extent of his alleged wrongdoing. Beyond the prison sentence, a conviction would have far-reaching consequences. For Diddy, it would almost certainly mean the end of his career and his public influence. He has built an empire in the music world, but these charges could bring it all crashing down. Moreover, this case would send a powerful message to others in the entertainment industry. It would show that engaging in such conduct has serious consequences and that the legal system is prepared to take strong action against those who exploit others. Could these charges really mark the end of Diddy's empire, or is there still hope for his legal team to turn things around? And what strategies will his defense use to combat the mountain of evidence against him? Stay with us as we dive into the tactics his lawyers are preparing in this intense legal battle. In the legal battle involving Sean Diddy Combs, his defense team has been very vocal in their efforts to counter the serious charges against him. Diddy's lawyers have repeatedly accused the government of leaking sensitive information to the media, which they argue has harmed his reputation and made it harder for him to get a fair trial. Recently, Diddy's legal team asked for an evidentiary hearing to investigate these leaks, claiming the government has been releasing confidential grand jury material and other evidence to make it harder for Diddy to defend himself. One of the key pieces of evidence is a surveillance video from 2016 showing Diddy allegedly misconducting his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. This video, which came to light in May 2024, has been a significant part of the defense's argument, as they believe it was leaked to the media to damage Diddy's reputation before his trial. Diddy's lawyers, Mark Agnifilo and Tenny Garagos, have strongly voiced their concerns about what they see as a smear campaign by the government. They argue that these leaks have led to damaging pre-trial publicity, which could make it impossible for Diddy to have a fair trial. In their court filings, they asked the judge to stop federal employees from sharing any more evidence with the media and to suppress any evidence that has already been leaked by government employees. This move shows how Diddy's defense is trying to shift the focus and question the integrity of the prosecution's case. Publicly, Diddy's legal team has remained confident, always asserting his innocence and outlining their strategy to fight the charges. In their statements, they emphasized that Diddy is being unfairly targeted and that the accusations against him are false and defamatory. They have pointed out weaknesses in the government's case and said they will challenge the credibility of the witnesses and the validity of the evidence presented. In a court filing, his lawyer stated, "Mr. Combs is presumed innocent. He traveled to New York to surrender because he knew he was going to be indicted. He took extraordinary steps to demonstrate that he intended to face and contest the charges, not flee." The defense also pointed to Diddy's cooperation with the legal process as proof of his innocence. They argue that the government's portrayal of him as a flight risk and a warning to witnesses is not based on facts, but is part of a larger effort to paint him in a negative light in the eyes of the public. In a public statement, Agnifilo said they are confident they can clear Diddy's name. "We are confident that when all the evidence is presented, Mr. Combs will be exonerated. The truth will come out, and we will fight vigorously to ensure that justice is served." His lawyers have worked hard to push back against what they see as an unfair narrative built by the government, and they are determined to show that he has been wrongly accused. Diddy's defense strategy reveals a complex battle against serious accusations. But what happens next as he faces the stark reality of incarceration? How will these harsh conditions affect his fight for justice? Let's explore his current situation and the challenges he encounters behind bars. Sean "Diddy" Combs is currently being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC in Brooklyn. The facility, which is notorious for its poor conditions, is where Diddy has been detained since his arrest on serious charges. MDC Brooklyn, located in an industrial area near the waterfront, houses around 1,200 detainees. Among the inmates are other high-profile figures like R. Kelly and Sam Bankman-Fried, adding to the facility's reputation for holding individuals with significant public attention. The conditions at MDC have long been criticized by former inmates and legal representatives. Diddy's lawyers have pointed out the dangers, overcrowding, and poor medical care that seem to define the facility. Inmates often face extreme conditions, with the building lacking proper ventilation, leading to unbearable heat in the summer and freezing cold temperatures in the winter. Stories of dangers between inmates are common, with some altercations resulting in serious harm or even deaths. These reports have intensified the efforts of Diddy's legal team as they argue that he should not be subjected to such harsh conditions while awaiting trial. One of the first actions taken upon Diddy's arrival at MDC was placing him on watch. This step is typical for high-profile inmates and involves close monitoring to ensure their safety. Guards check on him regularly, and his every move is recorded on camera. However, the conditions of this watch are harsh. Inmates under this level of surveillance often endure bright lights around the clock and have very limited access to personal belongings. Though Diddy's legal team has raised concerns about the impact of these conditions on his mental health, they maintain that he is staying strong and is focused on preparing his defense. For Diddy, life in prison is a drastic departure from the luxury he has been accustomed to. His daily routine now revolves around the stark realities of prison life, with one of the hardest adjustments being the food. Reports from his lawyers describe the meals at MDC as basic and often unappealing. Beyond the poor food quality, Diddy is also grappling with the overall environment of MDC. Privacy is non-existent, and constant surveillance adds to the stress of incarceration. For high-profile inmates like Diddy, the risks are even greater, as their fame can make them targets for other prisoners looking to gain notoriety. To minimize these risks, Diddy has been placed in protective custody. This section of the prison is designed to protect vulnerable inmates from the dangers posed by the general population. While being in protective custody keeps Diddy safe from physical harm, it also means he is isolated and has very little interaction with other people. For many inmates, this kind of isolation can be both a relief and a burden. Diddy's time at MDC has been an immense personal challenge, from adjusting to the difficult living conditions to facing the possibility of a long legal battle ahead. Though the path ahead is uncertain, Diddy remains focused, his defense team stating that he is determined to confront the charges against him, even as he endures the harsh realities of life behind bars. Diddy's life in the harsh conditions of the Metropolitan Detention Center raises many questions. How is he adapting to a diet far from the gourmet meals he once enjoyed? What does daily life look like in such a controlled environment? Stay tuned as we explore the realities of his current food and living conditions. In his current life behind bars, Diddy's reality is vastly different from the luxurious one he once portrayed on social media, where he was often seen surrounded by a personal chef, assistants, and staff attending to his every need. Now, his day-to-day routine follows a rigid structure, with specific times for eating, showering, and doing laundry. His diet, far from the gourmet meals he once enjoyed, consists of standard prison fare. Breakfast options are limited to simple choices like fruit, cereal, breakfast cakes, and skim milk. For those who crave caffeine, coffee is available. Lunch menus vary, offering items like scrambled eggs, chicken wraps, baked chicken, or beef tacos, often accompanied by sides such as coleslaw, rice, or green beans. Dinner selections are no better, with meals like chili mac, Salisbury steak, or chicken fried rice. On weekends, the menu includes cheese pizza with spinach, a modest treat for the inmates. In addition to the standard meals provided, Diddy and other inmates can purchase additional food items from the prison's commissary. The options aren't extensive, but they offer a slight variation from the usual meals. The Federal Bureau of Prisons website lists items such as Velveeta cheese blocks for $3.70, white tuna pouches for $3.45, and a pouch of Spam for just $1.50. For those wanting a bit more flavor, jalapeno squeezed cheese is available for $3.35. Seasonings and spices can also be bought at an additional cost. allowing inmates to customize their meals slightly. Some more substantial options are available in the commissary, including pre-cooked rice, instant grits, and even a rib steak meal priced at $9.95. Snack choices range from granola bars and Chips Ahoy, cookies to unsalted peanuts and sugar-free candy. Beverages too can be purchased, including decaffeinated coffee for $3.55 and herbal tea for the same price. However, these options, while slightly better than the typical prison meals, still fall short of the luxury Diddy was once accustomed to. Life in prison is harsh in more ways than just the food. Diddy has to follow strict schedules, including a 6 a.m. wake-up call, and showers are only allowed every other day. The facilities themselves are often reported as less than ideal. According to a former inmate, the food quality is poor, with some meals being almost inedible. For example, they described a dish called Misery Burgers, which consisted of a thin, tough patty resembling shoe leather. Despite the discomforts, Diddy still has access to some basic privileges. He is allowed to make phone calls with a limit of 300 minutes per month, and he can send emails, though they are heavily monitored. Emails are charged at about 5 cents a minute, and messages are text only. No images are allowed. Visiting hours are restricted, and visitors must undergo background checks before being allowed to see him. Diddy, known for his love of designer clothing like Alexander McQueen and Gucci, now wears a standard prison uniform. Inmates, including Diddy, are issued 2 uniforms, 3 pairs of socks, and used undergarments. Personal hygiene and searches are also part of the daily routine. A former inmate who spent time at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, described the strip searches as particularly dehumanizing. These searches can happen at any time, and they involve the inmate removing all their clothing while a guard inspects them thoroughly. The procedure includes checking inside the inmate's mouth, followed by instructing them to bend over, spread their hips, cough, and lift their genitals. This stark contrast between his previous life of fame, wealth, and indulgence and his current reality in prison could understandably take a heavy toll on Diddy. For someone like Diddy, who is used to controlling his surroundings and lifestyle, being stripped of that control may lead to deep emotional turmoil. New footage claiming to show Diddy, Obama, and Kamala Harris in a bizarre satanic ritual has gone viral, sparking intense debates and wild conspiracy theories across the internet. With these 3 high-profile figures at the center of the storm, people are scrambling to uncover the truth behind the footage. Could it be an elaborate hoax? Or is there something more sinister at play? And how will this viral sensation affect the reputations of Diddy, Obama, and Kamala Harris? Stick around as we talk about new footage of Diddy, Obama, and Kamala Harris going viral. Photo of Diddy with Obama. In May 2024, a photo of Diddy standing next to former President Barack Obama caused a stir across social media platforms. The photograph gained even more attention in March 2024, when federal agents raided Diddy's home in Los Angeles and Miami during an ongoing investigation into alleged inappropriate trafficking. Some social media users were quick to connect the viral image to these legal troubles, with one post claiming, "The media doesn't want you to see this, so you know what to do." This sparked a flood of reactions on platforms like X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook as users debated its significance. A closer look reveals that while the image spread rapidly, there is no evidence suggesting that Obama was involved in or aware of any of the accusations surrounding Diddy. Still, the photo's timing fueled speculation, with some users pointing out that Diddy has been photographed with other high-profile figures, including Donald Trump. These associations led some to assume a deeper connection between the rapper's legal issues and his famous acquaintances. Although there isn't any definitive proof verifying the authenticity of the 2024 image, it's worth noting that Diddy has publicly supported Obama in the past. For example, in 2017, Diddy shared a photo of the two dressed in similar outfits to those in the recent viral image. The 2017 picture posted on Combs' Facebook was captioned, "This week was a great week. Shout out to the King Barack Obama, #Black Excellence." While this background suggests that the latest image may very well be real, it doesn't necessarily imply any wrongdoing on Obama's part. Instead, it seems to be another instance of social media users drawing connections between high-profile figures during moments of controversy. Moreover, a photo of Diddy with Kamala Harris has raised some eyebrows. People are asking if Kamala has ever attended Diddy's parties, or if they just know each other casually. With Diddy facing a lot of attention for his activities, it's natural to wonder what this friendship means. How might their connection affect how people view both of them? What does it reveal about the circles they travel in? Let's talk about it. Photo of Diddy with Kamala Harris. Former President Donald Trump is once again stirring up controversy after sharing a digitally altered image on his Truth Social account. The photo falsely suggested a connection between Vice President Kamala Harris and Diddy. The image Trump posted was a modified version of a 2001 photo originally featuring Harris alongside former talk show host Montel Williams and his daughter. In the doctored version, Diddy's face was swapped in for Williams, creating the false impression that Harris had ties to the rapper. Trump's caption further pushed the idea, wrongly implying that Harris was somehow involved in the troubling allegations against Diddy, which include disturbing reports of so-called freak-offs. This isn't the first time Trump has been accused of using misleading tactics during the 2024 election. Just weeks before, he shared AI-generated images of pop star Taylor Swift supposedly endorsing him, which sparked outrage among her fans. Another fake image showed Harris addressing a crowd of communists at the Democratic National Convention, an event that never happened. These images were quickly debunked, but the damage was already done, with Trump's disinformation strategy becoming a recurring theme of his campaign. While the doctored image of Harris and Diddy was eventually deleted, it didn't take long for it to backfire. Social media exploded with genuine photos of Trump and Diddy, including clips from Trump's time on Celebrity Apprentice in 2012, where he called Combs a good friend. These images quickly went viral, with late-night comedians like Jimmy Kimmel pointing out the irony of Trump trying to slander Harris while being so friendly with Combs in the past. This episode has also put a spotlight on the broader issue of disinformation campaigns targeting the Harris Waltz ticket. Microsoft recently reported that Russian-backed efforts are using deepfake technology to undermine Harris's candidacy, a tactic that some of Trump's supporters have echoed. Notably, tech billionaire Elon Musk, who has openly endorsed Trump, shared a manipulated video that distorted Harris's voice to spread more falsehoods. Trump's use of doctored media in political attacks has become a familiar pattern. From false claims about Haitian immigrants to misleading photos of celebrities like Taylor Swift, his tactics have drawn heavy criticism. Despite facing multiple legal challenges and indictments of his own, Trump continues to dominate the headlines, making misinformation a key concern in the 2024 election. Recently, allegations about Diddy hosting satanic ritual parties have come to light, with survivors like Allison Carter speaking out about their experiences. They describe these gatherings as disturbing events involving not just adults, but also children. What kind of atmosphere did these parties create? And why are these claims becoming more public now? How do these revelations affect Diddy's reputation and the entertainment industry as a whole? Let's delve into it. Satanic ritual white parties. Allison Carter, a brave survivor of child inappropriate trafficking, has come forward with shocking allegations about the notorious white parties hosted by Diddy. In a series of compelling video clips that have surfaced on social media,
I never thought that we would see the day where Diddy would get arrested, and I told you guys in that Maria Z interview in 2021 that no one tells on Diddy.
Carter described these gatherings not simply as wild parties, but as horrific events involving what she termed satanic ritual group intercourse. Her powerful words have sparked significant conversation online, shedding light on the often overlooked plight of child victims. Carter boldly stated, "They weren't freak-offs. They were satanic ritual group intercourse." Get it right. It wasn't just adults at these parties. The adults were responsible for the child slaves that were in the party. And one of those children was me. Her testimony aims to expose the dark reality behind these events, where children were allegedly exploited. The response to Carter's revelations has been intense, with many supporters rallying around her. One Twitter user expressed enthusiasm, writing, "Ally Carter dropping truth bombs. Allie talks intimately about the party favor effect at Diddy's parties. She drops names of many celebrities, including Oprah. This is a powerful testimony. It's time to focus on the children." Such reactions highlight the urgency of her message and the importance of raising awareness about the experiences of survivors like her. Reflecting on Diddy's recent legal troubles, Carter admitted her surprise at the developments. "I never thought it would happen," she shared, emphasizing the gravity of the situation. After gaining media attention in 2020, her life took a turn for the worse. She and her family lost their home and faced significant challenges in trying to rebuild their lives. Carter's journey has not been easy. She has sought to take legal action against Riverside County Child Protective Services, claiming they played a role in her trafficking, but reports that her evidence has been ignored. This experience has fostered a deep sense of distrust within her, particularly regarding support systems meant to assist survivors. She cautioned other survivors to be wary of certain hotlines, suggesting they may not be as reliable as they seem. Any money involved in these situations was blood money, whether used to silence people or not, she asserted, underlining her desire for support from everyday individuals rather than financial assistance from larger entities.
When we went to Colorado for the A to Z event, we had a lot of legal evidence that we made sure we already had because we knew a list of people were about to get got.
Diddy has been a vocal supporter of Barack Obama in past interviews, celebrating his leadership and vision. Their bond has been evident at various events. Kamala Harris has also tweeted her support for Diddy, highlighting their connection. How do these endorsements affect their public images? What does it mean for Diddy during these serious times? Let's begin. Interview with Obama and tweets from Kamala Harris. Obama and Diddy first crossed paths in 2004 during a pivotal moment for both men. At the time, Diddy was rallying support for the Democratic Party ahead of the Democratic National Convention, while Obama was a rising political figure running for the Senate in Illinois. As part of Diddy's Vote or Die campaign, which encouraged voter turnout, he interviewed Obama for MTV, where Obama praised Diddy for his efforts to get people to the polls. "I've got to give it to Puff Daddy for all the work he's been doing," Obama said, acknowledging the influence Diddy wielded among young voters. Throughout the 2000s, as Diddy's fortune soared to over $700 million, he became one of the most prominent celebrity backers of the Democratic Party. During the 2004 election cycle, Diddy interviewed both Obama and Hillary Clinton, shining a light on key political figures of the time. His brief interview with Obama resurfaced this week following Diddy's arrest on serious crime charges, leading to renewed attention on their connection. In the interview, a young Obama commended Diddy for using his platform for good. "He doesn't have to do this, but it's important to give back," Obama remarked. The two shared a lighthearted moment as Diddy teased Obama for sweating under the hot convention lights, while Obama playfully dabbed his forehead with a napkin. Diddy's support didn't stop there. In 2008, he was one of Obama's most vocal celebrity advocates, hosting events like the Last Chance for Change rally in Florida just days before the presidential election. His public backing helped solidify his status as a major player in political fundraising and activism. However, as Diddy now faces legal turmoil, the past interactions of political figures with the rapper have become fodder for conservative critics. In the wake of Diddy's arrest, some pointed to an old tweet from Vice President Kamala Harris, where she praised Diddy for hosting a town hall on racial inequality during her 2020 presidential campaign. Harris had commended Diddy for bringing attention to how the COVID-19 pandemic was exacerbating racial disparities. "There's a lot at stake for our communities right now, and it's critical we highlight how coronavirus is deepening racial inequality and health disparities," Harris wrote in the tweet. While some tried to use the tweet to connect Harris with Diddy's current legal troubles, others argued that Diddy's status as a hip-hop icon naturally put him in close proximity to many influential figures. This included former President Donald Trump, who was once photographed with Diddy at a 2005 fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago. The event was held for the Rush Philanthropic Foundation, with Trump, then a registered Democrat, hosting the event as part of his involvement with Democratic fundraising at the time. As Diddy's legal case unfolds, his past connections with both Democrats and Republicans are under scrutiny, but they reflect the reality that, as a major figure in both music and politics, his influence extended across party lines. Recent developments in Diddy's case include the assignment of a new judge, aimed at ensuring a fair trial amidst ongoing scrutiny. Attorney Tony Busby is frustrated with A-list celebrities for their alleged involvement in Diddy's controversial parties, urging them to come forward with information. What impact will the new judge have on the case? How will the celebrities' responses shape the ongoing situation? Let's talk about it. New developments in Tony Busby in Action Diddy was arrested on September 16th night in New York City following a grand jury indictment. Homeland Security officials apprehended him at the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan, where he was staying. On next day, a judge decided to hold him without bail as the case unfolds. The allegations against Diddy are serious, centering around what have been dubbed freak-off sessions. According to reports, these events involved claims that Diddy coerced and sedated women into participating in extensive inappropriate encounters. This arrest comes about 6 months after federal agents conducted raids at his homes in Los Angeles and Miami. During those operations, authorities reportedly discovered over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant believed to have been used in these notorious gatherings. Prosecutors have stated that they have interviewed more than 50 witnesses and associates as part of their investigation. The raids also resulted in the seizure of numerous electronic devices, including laptops, cell phones, and hard drives. Additionally, officials claim to possess footage that allegedly shows Diddy coercing victims into engaging in lewd acts. As reported by News, Diddy will now be tried by Judge Arun Subramanian, as indicated in court documents. Previously, his case was under the jurisdiction of Judge Andrew L. Carter Jr. During a hearing on September 18, 2024, Judge Carter noted that if he could not accommodate a trial date, the case would be reassigned to another judge. This shift to a new judge could significantly impact the proceedings, as Diddy will have another opportunity to seek bail. His previous attempts at bail were denied by both Judge Carter and U.S. Magistrate Judge Robin Tarnofsky, the initial judge assigned to the case. Both judges sided with prosecutors who argued that Diddy should remain in custody until his trial. Since his arrest on September 16, 2024, Diddy has been held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Notably, this facility has also housed high-profile inmates, including disgraced cryptocurrency mogul Sam Bankman-Fried. Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, has been vocal in defending his client, arguing in court that Diddy should not be compared to other high-profile figures facing similar allegations, such as R. Kelly and Jeffrey Epstein. Agnifilo contended that the evidence presented is not indicative of inappropriate trafficking, but rather a reflection of Diddy's personal relationships. He stated, "This is evidence, not of inappropriate trafficking, but of being caught being unfaithful. He was in a 10-year loving relationship through dark periods. In the wake of these serious charges, attorney Tony Busby is taking action against A-list celebrities who may have attended Diddy's controversial parties." Busby recently sent demand letters to several well-known figures, urging them to disclose any information they might have about Diddy's parties to facilitate a private resolution of the issues at hand. He warned, if you were attending one of these parties and you knew what was going to happen, if a particular substance was being used in drinks that were causing people to be coerced and taken advantage of, you have a problem." Busby's strategy hinges on the premise that many individuals were either aware of or participated in these gatherings, and he believes they should be held accountable. He teased that more names could be revealed in the course of the investigation, stating, "All of these individuals have exposure here. Who will be named, when they will be named, all that will come out in due course." Busby emphasized that those who wish to maintain their anonymity in this situation might need to consider settling with the alleged victims. He elaborated, "In every single case, especially cases like this, we collect our data, collect our evidence, do our due diligence, spend time with the victim, and then, because it's in the best interest of the victim, we attempt to resolve these matters without the filing of a public lawsuit." As for the ongoing negotiations he mentioned, we've done that with a handful of individuals, many of which you've heard of before, and we'll continue to do that. He also indicated that if any individuals choose not to settle, their names could potentially be revealed in public lawsuits. As the investigation continues to unfold, many are watching closely to see how this high-profile case will develop and what implications it may have for those involved. We explore the side of the story linking Hillary and Bill Clinton to the Diddy saga and what it could mean for the forthcoming trial. Is there more to the flashy lifestyle we've known Diddy for? What goes on behind the walls of his mansion? We'll take a detour into Lil Rod's lawsuit against Diddy to better understand why Hillary Clinton's involvement with Diddy could be a huge dent in her political career. Controversy or not, Diddy's arrest on September 16th has since sparked different theories and assumptions, particularly owing to his connections with top industry players across all sectors. The most recent controversy that has got rumor mills active is the recently dug-up picture of Diddy with Bill and Hillary Clinton. It is alleged that their relationship dates as far back as the Democratic National Convention, where Diddy played a significant role for Hillary in the campaign proceedings. Diddy, in fact, had previously made a donation to Hillary's campaign when she was vying for New York Senator.
When I go to the floor of the Senate to cast a vote, I'm casting a vote about what the economy is going to...
Various lists have been circulated naming Hillary Clinton as an attendee of the freak-offs organized at the key was revoked, prompting Diddy to return it on June 10th. Combs was among several dozen black individuals who sent a letter to Biden in August 2020, pleading with him to choose a black candidate for vice president. The letter seemed to allude to rumors that Harris was too ambitious to be his VP. According to experts, Diddy's decline in popularity and several bombshell charges against him would bring disgrace and shame to celebrities and royals who were seen publicly with him during the height of his glory. It is believed Diddy used the stars to hide in the background. Diddy manipulated the British royals and other key figures, claimed Nick Ed, a brand and culture expert. He described Diddy as a clever manipulator who utilized his wealth, rank, and notoriety to get close to the world's most influential individuals. Aligning himself with royalty and government enables him to become almost untouchable, hiding in plain sight, something that we have come to recognize as a similar trait as both Epstein and Weinstein. Could his political affiliations save him from the mess he's found himself in? Would his continued detention pressure him to leak secrets better left unsaid? This is an ongoing case you do not want to blink for. 73. Page lawsuit. Lil Rod and Diddy worked on the Love album, where, reportedly, Diddy occasionally used Lil Rod's phone to record both Lil Rod and himself. This is said to have enabled Lil Rod to collect hundreds of potentially incriminating pieces of evidence against Diddy and his staff, who were allegedly involved in illegal activities, including spiking drinks of guests at freak-off parties, racketeering, coercion, and even homicide. In his lawsuit against Diddy, Lil Rod accuses Diddy of repeatedly engaging in unsolicited and unauthorized touching in areas where he felt uncomfortable.
Because he said that they never had. If you read it in the thing, they never had.
While allegedly being confined to working in Diddy's bathroom, where Diddy was often walking around without proper attire or showering in a see-through enclosure. Lil Rod claims he raised these concerns with Christina Koram, Diddy's chief of staff, who reportedly dismissed the complaints, suggesting that Diddy would always be himself. Additionally, it is claimed that Diddy explicitly expressed his desire to engage in intimate relations with Lil Rod.
And on top of that, these guys are trying to steal my publishing.
Using his connection with Stevie J as bait. Lil Rod idolized Stevie J as a mentor, and Diddy, reportedly using his influence in the music industry, is said to have flaunted his connection with Stevie J to pressure Lil Rod into actions against his will, promising opportunities to meet Stevie J and potentially collaborate on recordings. According to allegations, Diddy even showed Lil Rod a video of Stevie J in an intimate situation with another man, purportedly to normalize such activities among music industry elites. Diddy's alleged goal was to pursue a relationship with Lil Rod, as he reportedly had romantic interests in him. It is claimed that Diddy withheld Lil Rod's producer share in an attempt to coerce him into compliance, ultimately forcing Lil Rod to start a GoFundMe campaign to raise funds for a case against Diddy. The RICO enterprise, allegedly led by Christina Koram, was purportedly the illegal front Diddy used to carry out his various alleged crimes, as detailed in a recent 14-page indictment against him. It is claimed that his access to substances and firearms was due to leveraging his ties with local gangs and their leaders. Both his Los Angeles and Miami properties are said to contain an arsenal of weaponry and large quantities of substances, Karam allegedly instructed all of Diddy's employees to carry a fanny pack filled with substances to ensure he was constantly supplied. The RICO enterprise is said to have been run with coercion at its core, and Lil Rod claims to have overheard discussions involving efforts to control law enforcement, eliminate individuals, and bribe witnesses, including jurors involved in the 1999 NYC nightclub shooting with Shine. It is alleged that Diddy's parties were funded by the RICO enterprise, reportedly attended by powerful music industry executives, including the CEO of Universal Music Group, Lucian Granger.
To listen to them, what Lionel and what Sean said.
And Ethiopia hopped to Mariam. These gatherings allegedly included adult entertainers, minors, and illegal substances. Fahim Muhammad, said to be an integral part of Diddy's team as head of security, is rumored to have had the ability to disappear those who challenged Diddy and erase traces of any wrongdoing. One example, according to these claims, is the alleged shooting of G, Justin's friend, on September 12, 2022, after Diddy organized a writers and producers camp. It is reported that Diddy's son Justin and other top musicians were also present at the camp. One evening, G was seen arguing with Justin and Diddy.
Icon alert. It's called He's Bad Boy Now. It's called.
The argument moved to the toilet not far from where Lil Rod was seated, and he could hear the argument heating up. Then, a few seconds later, he heard gunshots and a crowd gathered, as perplexed as himself as to what could be going on. Justin and Diddy came out of the restroom a few minutes later, and right there, G was seen holding his stomach with blood coming from his hip area. The incident got Los Angeles Police Department officials involved who examined the crime scene, but news agencies reported the shooting happened outside the studio by a drive-by assailant. Diddy had instructed those in attendance to go with that story, and everybody obliged. This just shows the level of authority Diddy had over his close associates. By Diddy, which has been a major factor in the problems he is currently facing. If indeed the allegations are baseless and Hillary never attended any of these parties, then do we discredit the idea that who you associate yourself with is a direct reflection of who you are? A random user in a now deleted comment on a post relating to the trending image of Diddy and Hillary Clinton labeled her an old airtight, a name he claimed she was called at the freak-offs. The allegations might seem far-fetched and a cheap attempt by a certain camp to smear Hillary's name, but let's not overlook her husband's direct involvement with Jeffrey Epstein, who was charged with trafficking.
Could you please give us your name? Jeffrey Epstein.
In the case of Epstein, he was silenced before he could spill the many secrets he had on our political figures. Dan Bongino, who worked on Hillary Clinton's detail for a long time, has hinted that the case involving Diddy and trafficking is not alien to Hillary.
The Sean Combs case is bigger than you think. Not a case about...
As she is directly involved, using the Clinton Foundation as a front to run her trafficking operations. As Diddy, she, and Epstein are all associated with the same set of people. In late 2016, amidst the U.S. election campaign, a viral internet slander spread like wildfire, affecting members of the Democratic Party and accusing them of indulging in illicit gatherings in the basement of a Washington pizzeria. Although fabricated from start to finish, the Pizzagate stink bomb damaged Hillary Clinton's campaign against Trump. Pizzagate has entered into the vast and frenzied conspiracy mythology centered around the shadowy figure Q and his QAnon community, who claimed to be helping Trump bring down a supposed network involving the Democrats, Hollywood, and global elites. This sordid fiction was fueled by the real scandal caused by Jeffrey Epstein, the influential financier with his extensive network, who was arrested on July 6, 2019 for trafficking and found dead in his cell a month later, on August 10th. The investigation had revealed an organized system of taking advantage of teenage girls. As a result, part of the Trumpist electorate hoped in vain that there would be earth-shattering revelations implicating their Democratic opponents. Nevertheless, after 2020, many Trump supporters compiled video clips of Joe Biden in the presence of little girls, suggesting inappropriate tendencies. His Vice President Harris has also been targeted, with AI-generated or doctored images showing her alongside Epstein. The first complaint of mistreatment, coercion, and trafficking was filed against Diddy on November 16, 2023. In the months that followed, nearly a dozen others were added as a picture began to form of an organized system of group misconduct comparable in scale to the accusations made against Epstein. By March, when his residences had just been raided, news headlines read that Diddy had been an active supporter of the Democratic Party. Speculation arose as to why the raid was conducted by the Department of Homeland Security and not the FBI. Rumors will forever be rumors, but one question remains. Could Diddy's political affiliations pave the way for him? As an ardent Democrat, does Diddy deserve some level of impunity or not? Impunity. Amidst Diddy's ongoing legal challenges, an alleged guest list from his notorious parties has been circulating online. The list was shared by the Facebook page Astral Conspiracy on October 2nd and includes names from the music, Hollywood, political, and sports worlds. During the 2004 Democratic National Convention, Diddy played a key role in mobilizing youngsters in favor of the party. He conducted MTV interviews with young delegates and Democratic leaders such as Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton.
So we can't guarantee anybody, Hillary Clinton, to vote.
Diddy made a final attempt to court black voters for Obama during the 2008 presidential campaign event, the Last Chance for Change rally in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Appearing in a podcast interview with Charlemagne the God in 2020, Diddy declared that white men like Trump need to be banished.
White men like Trump need to be banished.
As he extended his support for then-candidate Joe Biden and even launched the political Black Party. In 2023, the rapper was presented with a key to New York City, but he later gave it back at Mayor Adams' request after a 2016 video purportedly showed the rapper mistreating his former girlfriend, singer Cassie Ventura. In a letter, Adams notified Diddy